There's a very specific aroma that we've been psychologically conditioned to worship. It's a chemical cocktail of freshly off-gassing plastics, synthetic leathers, and industrial-grade carpet. We call it new car smell. To most people, that scent represents the peak of success. It's a signal to the world that you finally made it enough to sign a mountain of debt and drive away in a 2-ton gleaming machine. But to a forensic accountant, or anyone who understands the brutal math of compounding interest, that smell is actually the scent of money on fire. It is an olfactory warning that you have just made the single most destructive financial decision of your middle-class life. It's a bizarre paradox, isn't it? We will obsess over a $5 latte, we'll spend hours comparing the price of eggs or canceling a $10 Netflix subscription because every dollar counts. But then, without blinking, we walk into a glass-walled dealership and sign a contract committing us to pay $800, $900, or even $1,200 a month for the next 7 years. We normalize this madness. We tell ourselves, everyone has a car payment, it's just part of life. But that sentence is the grand lie that keeps the middle class permanently broke. A car payment isn't just a monthly bill. It is a wealth transfer mechanism that systematically funnels millions of dollars from your future retirement account into the deep pockets of auto manufacturers and lenders. My name is Gemini, and today we are going to perform a brutal autopsy on the global obsession with the automobile. We are going to break down the total cost of ownership, the predatory math of the 84-month loan, and the terrifying reality of driving a rolling computer. I'm going to show you the math, proving that your $50,000 truck doesn't actually cost $50,000. It effectively costs you $3 million of your future freedom. Here's the fundamental glitch in our thinking. We view cars as assets. We put them on our net worth statements like they're pieces of gold. But a car is not an asset. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out. A car is a hyper-liability that depreciates like a stone dropped in a lake. It is a consumer good, like a toaster or a pair of jeans, except it costs as much as a small house and requires constant, expensive feeding. The moment you drive that new car off the lot, the depreciation cliff hits. You lose 15 to 20% of the value in the first 60 seconds. Imagine if you bought a stock for $50,000 and 1 minute later you checked your phone and it was worth $40,000. You would vomit. You would panic sell. You would swear off the stock market forever. But with a car, we do this voluntarily every 3 or 4 years. We celebrate the loss. We take high-res photos of the loss and post them on Instagram to get likes for our financial suicide. Dealerships are masters of psychological warfare. They use a trick called the Foursquare. When you sit in that office, the finance manager doesn't want to talk about the total price of the car or the interest rate. They only care about one thing. What monthly payment are you comfortable with? That is the trap. By focusing on the monthly payment, they can stretch the term to 84 or even 96 months. They take a car you clearly cannot afford and make it look affordable by shackling you to a debt for nearly a decade. You aren't paying for the car. You're drowning in interest for a vehicle that will be rusting and breaking down before you even own the title. You might say, but I need a reliable car. I can't have a used car breaking down on my way to work. Look, I hear you, but reliability and expense are not the same thing. The myth that you need to buy new to get reliable is the most profitable lie the auto industry has ever told. Data shows that cars 3 to 5 years old are often in the sweet spot of reliability. The manufacturing bugs have been worked out, recalls have been addressed, and the car has proven itself. A 3-year-old Toyota isn't less reliable than a brand new one. In many ways, it's better. And here's the beautiful part. That 3-year-old car has already taken the massive 35% depreciation hit. Someone else paid $15,000 for the privilege of smelling the plastic for a few months. You get the same essential vehicle with modern safety features and 80% of its life left for a fraction of the cost. You're buying the utility, they bought the vanity. Let's talk about the true cost of ownership. A $40,000 car doesn't cost $40,000. When you add sales tax, high insurance premiums for new vehicles, and the interest tax, currently hovering at 7 to 10%, that car will cost you nearly $70,000 over 5 years. At the end of that period, it's worth $15,000. You literally lit $55,000 on fire. But the real tragedy, the number that should make you physically ill, is the opportunity cost. Let's run a simulation. If you are 25 years old, and instead of buying a new car every 5 years, you bought a reliable used car for cash and invested that $800 monthly into the S&P 500. At an average 10% return, do you know how much you would have at age 65? Over $4.5 million. Let that sink in. The decision to drive a new car at age 25 didn't cost you a few $1,000s. It cost you a multi-million-dollar retirement. You aren't driving a Ford or a BMW. You are driving your beach house. You are driving your ability to retire 10 years early. You are driving your freedom. Why do we do it? Status signaling. The car is the ultimate public display of wealth. You can't wear your investment portfolio to the grocery store, so you wear your car. We justify it by saying, "I work hard, I deserve this." These are rationalizations for buying self-esteem with debt. The irony, nobody's impressed. When you see someone in a luxury SUV, you don't think, "Wow, that guy is successful." You think, "Wow, I would look cool in that SUV." We are all narcissists looking in mirrors. Nobody cares about your car payment. They only care about the illusion you're projecting. The solution? It requires an ego death. You have to be willing to be the person in the parking lot with the older car. Follow the 20-3-8 rule. Put 20% down, finance for no more than 3 years, and ensure the payment is less than 8% of your gross income. If you can't meet those numbers, you can't afford the car. Stop loving your car and start loving your freedom. Stop chasing the new car smell and start chasing the smell of a growing net worth. The next time you feel the urge to upgrade, ask yourself, is this shiny metal box worth $4 million of my future? The answer is always no. If this video made you rethink that trip to the dealership, share it with a friend who's about to sign a 7-year lease. Save them from the trap. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.